PC Master Race. They take pride in their hardware, which they invest lots of time and money into, and look down on those pesky little console peasants. When you play on your PC, you are a part of the greatest community in existence, the PC Master Race, right? But why do PC Master Races love their PCs so much? Is the PC gaming platform truly that amazing? I must make it clear I do not hate PC. I have a gaming PC myself with an AMD Radeon RX 480 installed, and I like to game on PC regularly. But I would like to stress that the gaming PC platform isn't all the sunshine and rainbows that the PC gamer likes to believe, and that console gaming isn't quite the peasant's entertainment as the PC gamers often express. Well, here are some of the PC Master Race points. Probably the most obvious point, PC has the most powerful hardware available. Which is true. You cannot argue that Xbox One or even the upcoming Xbox Scorpio is more powerful than the GTX 1080. But how much is the GTX 1080? The GTX 1080 costs £690 for the Founders Edition and £529 through selected partners, although personally I've never seen a £530 GTX 1080. This on its own is more expensive than the Xbox One, PS4, PS4 Pro, and most likely more expensive than the upcoming Xbox Scorpio. Factor in the cost of a CPU, motherboard, case, power supply, RAM, a hard drive, probably a disk drive, and your operating system, your wholly new gaming desktop now costs far upwards of £1,000. Even a GTX 1070 build is likely to cost as much as £1,000, especially if the system includes premium standard products and nifty little accessories such as a CPU cooler and RGB lighting for the case. But what if you do have the budget for a high-end PC? Well, good on you. Your gaming experience should be great. But even then it's a struggle to get 4K resolution with a solid 60 frames per second experience. You'll usually have to drop one or two settings in modern titles. So people in the comments saying they get 4K 120 frames per second, they're probably just trying too hard to show how amazing their platform is. PC gamers also say that PCs are 100% backwards compatible. I've heard this numerous times, but it's not true. Sure, you can get the most old games working using an emulator, but sometimes games get left behind as new operating systems arise, meaning they are no longer functional on the latest operating systems. My best example for this is the original Crysis. At its time, the game released with some of the most mind-blowing PC clipping graphics anyone had ever seen, and the game's graphics, even today, hold up really well. My personal biggest problem with the game is getting it to run. I got Crysis discounted in a bundle with Crysis 2 and 3. Great. But Crysis 1 was designed for an ancient operating system called Windows Vista, and I have Windows 10. Unfortunately, the game crashes on startup, and a 64-bit version from the internet could not save me, as when I had that installed, the game required a disk. Perfect. If only a Steam and Origin would distribute the 64-bit version of the game digitally, right? PC gamers often believe that mouse and keyboard is undeniably better than gamepad. For some situations, mouse and keyboard is almost always better, and in others it's down to preference. But the biggest problem in my opinion is the mouse requires a good surface to play on. On your home console you can relax, lay back on your comfortable sofa with a controller in your hands. You cannot with a mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard requires a lot more space than a gamepad, particularly because you need a flat surface for the mouse, but also the keyboard can be huge. This can make PC gaming a far less relaxed and casual experience. The mouse is far easier to learn and to aim with. This is why PC gamers hate the gamepad so much. But does it matter? If everyone else is also using a gamepad in competitive multiplayer, there is a level playing field, so it doesn't matter you can't aim. The reason PC gamers take such a disposition against the gamepad is because they find it hard to learn and adjust to using it. I'm not saying that mouse and keyboard is worse, but the PC gamer shouldn't need to consider it definitely undeniably better than a console peasant's controller. Here are some other problems with PC gaming. If I buy a console, I can usually guarantee it will last at least 7 years, although that is arguable with the new upgraded consoles coming out. With the gaming PC, a lot of PC builders replace their expensive parts every 2 to 3 years for the best and newest experiences. This brings in a constant expenditure which is huge. PC gamers complain about the cost of Xbox Live, but the equivalent on PC is the price of Windows, which is also very expensive. Not to mention if you want to access Microsoft Office, this is at least £60 per year. More expensive than the £40 per year of Xbox Live. PC gaming is one of the buggiest experiences I have ever experienced. Console gaming is optimized for the hardware and usually games release with only a few bugs. This is not the case on PC. with games often releasing with game-breaking bugs and many other smaller bugs too, not to mention that games usually favour some hardware over other hardware. So, to conclude, yes, PC gaming has its perks, and yes, console gaming has its drawbacks. However, it is also arguable in the opposite direction. Console gaming has its perks while PC gaming can have its drawbacks. It comes down to preference. No fanboyism is good, but from my experience, the PC Master Race fanboys are found in the comment section are some of the most arrogant of all the fanboys. Maybe they should consider why others might choose other platforms. Thank you.